What is up, woke family? It's your boy Woke Mox, and I'm back in with another live stream. So the topic that I'll be discussing this live stream this morning is in regards to why you need to be able to put yourself first, right? A lot of people don't realize that, but them not putting themselves first, they're putting themselves at a distinct disadvantage. Why? Because if you don't learn how to put yourself first, it's going to be hard, if not impossible, for other people to put you first because a lot of people are focused on how they can try to elevate in their life, how they can try to make their lives good. And you have other people as well too that are also focused on other people. But the reality is that a lot of people are too focused on themselves to care about what you're going through. Right? Most people don't have sympathy for you in this life. So the reality is that if you don't put yourself first, if you don't try to elevate yourself, if you don't put yourself in a position to succeed, it's going to be extremely hard for you to be able to succeed in life, right? It's not going to happen if you don't put yourself first. It's not going to happen if you don't put yourself in a position to succeed. A lot of people want to be successful, but they're not ready to make the sacrifices in order to be able to become successful, right? That's the reality of the situation. A lot of people want it to come easy to them, but they're not ready to put in the work, right? And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about specifically self-improvement, right? What are you doing on a daily basis to be able to make sure that you're growing spiritually with your connection with God, that you're eating clean, that you're living a healthy lifestyle, right? That you're making more money, right? That you're living a successful life, a satisfactory life, right? A lot of people are not ready to make that sacrifice, and that's exactly why they live average lives. You have to put yourself and others in a position to be able to live that life. But how do you do that? You focus on yourself first, and you try to live a life of abundance by focusing on self-improvement, right? It's very important. But people tend to neglect that because they think that they have so much time in the world. But the reality of the situation is that you don't have as much time on this earth as you think that you do, right? You have to take advantage of every opportunity you get, right? Don't waste time, because if you care about your life, you're not going to waste time, because it's for that same time that good things happen or bad things happen. So why are you just going to sit around and let time waste, right? Let time continue to go, right? You could be sleeping from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. on a Tuesday to 12 a.m. on a Wednesday. And if you don't accomplish anything, that's time wasted. And if you waste time, do you really care about yourself? Are you really focused on trying to elevate yourself, on trying to make yourself the most important person in your life in order to be able to take care of other people? Because how can you take care of other people when you haven't even taken care of yourself, right? For instance, you go on an airplane. What is the first thing they tell you on top of you putting on your seatbelt, right? They tell you if for any reason the plane were to fall down, like go down, right? Mayday. They tell you put on your safety mask first before you help another person. Because how can you help another person if you haven't helped yourself first? You're defeating the purpose, right? And that's not to say that you should not care about other people, that you should not prioritize other people. But you have to start off by prioritizing yourself first, making yourself an asset first, investing in yourself first before you invest in another person. Because it's going to be completely hard for you to be continuously investing in yourself while you're investing in other people. Focus on yourself first. Focus on trying to make yourself the greatest version of yourself first. Then you focus on other people. But too many people are focused on, oh, how can I help this person out? And then when that person doesn't help you, you feel some type of way. When people don't care about what you're going through, you feel some type of way. This is the thing you have to realize at the end of the day. If people don't care about what you're going through, you as a person should care what you're going through. Let me say that again. If people don't care about what you're going through, you as a person should care about what you're going through. You have to make it priority to self-improve. You have to make it priority to focus on yourself. You have to make it priority to put yourself first. Because if you know now that most people are not going to put you first, why would you not put yourself first? Right? You have to elevate. We're in 2022 right now. There are no more excuses. There are no more excuses for why you're not elevating in this life. It's only up to you. You have the ability to determine whether you're going to elevate or not, right? You have the ability to determine that. Nobody can determine that for you other than yourself. What are you doing on a daily basis in order to be able to elevate? What are you doing on a daily basis in order to put yourself first? Are you writing down your goals? Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you working out? Are you trying to focus on how you can elevate your income? Right? What are you doing on a daily basis to ensure that you are becoming the person that God has called you to become? Or are you just wasting your time watching Netflix, sitting at home eating cookies and chips, right? Not focusing on how you're going to elevate your life, especially for the men out there, right? You have to understand that there's a difference between men and women, right? Women are trust fund babies. Women can do that, and you're going to have a man out there that's going to be able to somewhat provide a lifestyle for you. We as men, we can't afford to slack around, right? You have to put yourself and others in a position to be successful. That means you got to grind. You got to work hard, right? You cannot afford to be average. You cannot afford to be below average. You have to be above average in order to succeed in this life. Therefore, you have to make certain sacrifices. If you truly love yourself, right? We as woke members of the Most High, if we truly love ourselves, we have to sacrifice now that we're young. Or even if we're older, we still have to sacrifice in order to be able to put ourselves and others in a position to succeed. But that's not going to happen if you're not putting yourself first. You have to make the sacrifices now that are going to pay off 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 50 years, 100 years down the line. You got to make those sacrifices now. This is the time. Now is the time to make those sacrifices. A lot of people are not willing to do what it takes in order to be able to elevate their life. And then when they live substandard lifestyles, they see why. You got to make these sacrifices now. They're very important, right? How are you going to feel 10 years, 20 years down the line? For instance, if you're, or not even 10 years, 20, let's just say 5 years, 10 years down the line right now. For instance, if you're living with your parents, and then you're put in a position where you have to be the breadwinner of your family and you have to take care of your mom, or you have to take care of your mom and dad who don't have the ability to take care of themselves anymore. They lost their job or they got injured, right? Or they're going through some sort of respiratory issue, right? Some sort of health issue. Now you're forced to step up, right? Before it gets to that point, you want to put yourself in a position to take care of them just in case if that were to happen, you can be set. But a lot of people are too comfortable. You're too comfortable where you are. You're not ready to elevate. You're not ready to do what it takes in order to be able to be that breadwinner of your family, to be that person that it takes to be able to solve your family's issues. You have to start now by putting yourself first and leveling up and elevating. Yes, is it going to be hard? Yes, but the reality of the situation is that the most successful people under pressure performed. Why? Because they put themselves first. They put themselves first. Not only did they put themselves first, they also understood that in order to be successful, I have to become uncomfortable. I have to become comfortable in the uncomfortable. So even if it's one little thing every day that you do to make yourself uncomfortable, do it in order to be able to elevate. Do it in order to be able to become who God has called you to become. Is it going to be easy? No. But you have to understand that anything that is attainable in life, that is worth it, is not easy. You got to put in the work now in order to be able to elevate. Keep trusting in God, trusting yourself, keep putting in the work on a daily basis in order to become who God has called you to become. And never give up. But you got to start putting yourself first now. Today is February 17, 2022. We're almost 2 months out of the year, heading into the third month. You got to start now. You got to start now. Let me say that again. You got to start now. This is the time. Now is the time to start. Stop waiting until tomorrow. Stop sitting around, letting time go by and not putting yourself first, right? There's so many different areas in which one can improve. You can improve spiritually with your connection with God so he can bless you abundantly. Physically, right? What you're putting in your body, what you do to work out, or your physical activity level, right? Financially, how much money you're making, what are you investing into in order to be able to build that wealth, multiply it, right? Emotionally, what you're going through, how to handle your emotions, right? Mentally, what you're going through in your mind and how you think through situations from a logical perspective, right? There are so many ways in which one can basically use to be able to elevate. So now the question you have to ask yourself is, which areas am I good in, right? Which areas am I good in? And which areas do I need to improve? And you have to take it upon yourself to put in the work on a day-by-day basis in order to be able to self-improve. Only you have the ability to do that. Nobody's gonna know. I'm telling you right now, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to make sure that you're okay. You gotta start putting in the work right now. You gotta start putting in the work now. There's no excuses. There are no excuses. If you really want to see yourself improve, start putting in that work. If you want to see yourself become the person that God has called you to, start putting in that work today. Right? We're in 2022. There are no more excuses. The only excuse you have is that you're lazy, right? But even with that being said, no more excuses. And that excuse is going to stop you from progressing in life, right? You have to put yourself in a position to succeed if you put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. It is so important. So put yourself first and become the person that the Most High God has called you to become by leveling up, and doing what it takes in order to become the highest value version of yourself. If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, you're not woke. This is going to be in this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends. Subscribe to the channel at Woke Ebuks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and so will social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be in this live stream. This is Woke Ebuks, and I'm out, man.